Well, the Americans with Disabilities Act, passed 18 years ago, was intended to provide better access for the disabled. But a San Diego 6 News investigation revealed hundreds of businesses being sued for big bucks. Investigative reporter John Mattis has more on a new law that may change things.
It was a story we first broke on San Diego 6 3 years ago. Whole towns, such as Julian, getting hit with ADA lawsuits claiming lack of access.
It feels like shakedown, and basically a gun put to your head, and you either pay up or we'll shoot.
Business owners said that because attorney Theodore Pinnock was filing hundreds of the cases. Pinnock, though, told us,
I admit that I am doing a public.
Many say
this is all about money.
A new California law may change all that.
This is really remarkable.
The new law is SB 1608.
It's to help increase compliance with our ADA access laws and to help cut down on the frivolous, unwarranted shakedown lawsuits.
Lorie Zapf of the Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse says the law sets up a commission to regulate for the first time access issues.
It's the Commission on Disability Access.
And creates certification for businesses to prove they're ADA compliant so they can't be sued by what Lorie calls drive-by lawsuits.
We wanted to get comment from Mr. Pinnock regarding the new law, but he didn't get back to us.
Others, though, had this to say.
The businesses will have the opportunity to have somebody to come into their business prior to any lawsuits.
Wayne Landon of the Paralyzed Veterans Association says under the old law, attorneys would file dozens of lawsuits without ever going into a business.
They were suing for things that they didn't even take the time to look at.
Now, all that's changing. Wayne says the new law is long overdue.
Something needed to be done.
In Chula Vista, John Mattis, San Diego 6 News.
And Lorie Zapf with Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse joins us here in the studio this morning. There's some things going on here that are kind of unprecedented. This new law is not about stopping disabled people from gaining the access that the original law was intended to provide. That's obviously the case because you see disabled persons really wanting to cooperate with this new law and getting on board with it. So explain what's going on here.
This is really significant. Many years in the making, a reform act so that we could stop these shakedown lawsuits. This particular bill alone just took 2 years. The whole time I've been at CALA, 2 years, this has been going through different machinations to bring the two sides together. So when you have unanimous bipartisan support in the legislature, it means that all of the groups out there, from the Restaurant Association to the disability rights activists, are pleased with this bill. I do want businesses to understand that there is no time to make repairs before you can be sued. You still can be sued at any time. What this creates is standards. The Disability Access Specialist Training Program through the State Architect Board is in charge and will be in charge as of January 1st of the training standards. So, for example, when you want to hire, as an individual business, if you want to hire somebody to come into your place, you will know for sure that they have been trained by the state board, not just somebody who claims to be.
So that you'll be in compliance and know that you're in compliance.
Yeah, the goal of this law is twofold, really. It is to increase disability access and to cut down on those drive-by, shakedown lawsuits, really meant just to extort settlements, nothing to do with getting a retail place in
Well, I'm very familiar with this in Alpine because that's the community I live in. And speaking with a lot of the business owners there, their contention was that Mr. Pinnock in particular was coming in to the town and just kind of blanket suing a whole block full of businesses, having never been in the businesses himself, not having been harmed in any way by those businesses. And then rather than forcing the businesses to comply with ADA and provide access, he was saying, you know what, you don't have to do that. Just pay me and I'll go away.
I've seen the demand letters. Literally, it says if you have all these violations, just a laundry list, all this really incendiary language, and then it says, you're in violation for $24,000. However, if you pay me $5,000 by next week, $5,000.
I'll withdraw my suit and
exactly.
go away. So this should block that from happening now?
Well, if a business hires somebody to come into their place and evaluate it, they make the repairs, they get their certification, it is highly unlikely anyone will come and sue them. Let me just say also, for the very first time, building inspectors will be trained by ADA access specialists. I know that sounds crazy that they haven't already.
They weren't trained prior to this, yeah.
It's crazy. People, I get calls all the time from people, they're just bewildered. They cannot believe that they're being sued because the building inspector came out.
Right. So hopefully that situation has been remedied. Now, you have some really interesting statistics on how this actually impacts small businesses. I mean, this is a major concern and has been for some time for businesses all over the state and all over the country. Kind of you did a survey. Kind of what did you find?
We worked with the National Federation of Independent Business. So they represent small businesses, and we just completed a statewide survey. About 800 responded. And what we found is that 60% of them, 60% have been threatened with a lawsuit in the past 5 years. Fully a third have actually been served with a lawsuit. Most of them believe that lawsuits are really meant for extracting money, not for actual damages, and they really, really want the legislature to act to cut down on these frivolous, unwarranted lawsuits. I can tell you in just the 2 years I've been at Kayla, pretty much every bill that would help them dies in committee and never even makes it to the floor. So this is why it is so remarkable to actually have a proactive bill that, if the spirit and intent of the law is carried out, will cut back on these lawsuits. But businesses, I want to say, you need to comply.
And again, that is the message. This is by no means trying to diminish the Americans with Disabilities Act. This is just to prevent it from being abused, just to extract money from businesses.
I have never spoken to one business owner that says, you know, I don't want the disabled community. Let's face it, we have a lot of people, veterans who are injured. We have an aging baby boom population. Places need to be accessible to the disabled.
If you want to stay in business, you need to serve your entire community.
Absolutely.
That's kind of the message.
Yes.
All right. Lorie, thank you so much for coming in. And great work on getting this done. And keep us updated on any more developments.
Thank you. And thank John Mattis. He has been terrific with this issue.
He did a fabulous job following through on this and staying with the story.
He gets it, yeah.
All right. Thanks so much. All right. For more information, you can go to san diego6.com and you can click on Hot Topics.